Our episode 56 is dedicated to Officer Chris Mitchell. He wears the badge and the uniform, protecting and serving the people of Lubbock, Texas. Every day, he and so many other of his brothers and sisters risk their lives on that thin blue line. The following is an A-Team PR production.
Welcome to the Free Range Texan podcast. We're kind of an escape hatch for everyday life. We know today's world has issues. Maybe that's just all the more reason to spend some time. So saddle up with a bunch of Free Range Texans. Here's one now, our host, Michael Shawn.
It's time for episode 56 of our Free Range Texan podcast of the month with special guest, singer, songwriter, film actor, Matt Westin, with a new release that we believe is not just remarkably timely, but also packs a powerful message. And when we heard it, we immediately reached out to have him back on our show. Foxy the Wonder Dog. Back here in the studio, our Studio A. For those of you in the group of first-time listeners, Foxy is our Chief of Security. You might also want to take note that, as usual, she is alert and ready to sample any of the snacks from our green room. Good dog, Foxy. Our Campfire segment will be taking us on a Texas road trip or two that promises to be a bit of a scream. All in all, it sounds like a fun ride. So, I suggest we saddle up and get ready to ride. Free Range Texan, who's calling?
Roger Dykes.
Roger, our old pal. We haven't talked to you in a while.
It's been a while, but then, of course, you were down and out for a while, too. That could explain part of it.
Well, clearly, I may have been down, but I never went out. Well, actually, I did for a couple of days. Oh, man. Okay. Well, Roger, you've called, and anytime you call, I know you have important matters on your mind. What's on your mind, Roger?
Well, I certainly do today, because I wanted to bring you up to date since you've been under the weather, but fortunately recovering now. I'll let you know some of the things that are going on with my podcast, and the production company I work with there has been real busy getting some new things out. We
got to tell all our Free Range Texan listeners that your podcast is entitled Roger Dykes Just Saying. And it's a cool deal. It's a fun listen.
But right now, I want to tell you about something new. We have a new Roger Dykes channel on YouTube, and I'm very proud of that, and it allows us to collect our material together in one spot. You can go there, and we have them all listed.
Roger, you are a pack of information today.
That's me in a nutshell, boy.
You got this YouTube channel. You're such a star.
Well, I'm not sure I'm all of that, but at least we're working toward that eventuality, perhaps. The various different artwork that's gone into this production with each podcast, and that's all available and can be seen on that same Roger Dykes YouTube channel. So that if you, and of course, as you well know from being connected to the show as well, that when we do the artwork has a connection back to something we're going to talk about during the podcast.
You know, Roger, it occurs to me that you are becoming a mogul. an entertainment and podcasting and YouTube broadcasting mogul.
So I guess I'll have to be satisfied with being a mogul.
I don't know. You get around. Hey, listen, man. So,
very
Roger,
slowly.
this is all big news. And I see your phones are already ringing there.
Yeah.
So I'll let you go if you like. But
Right.
you're always welcome to call in, Roger.
Thank you. Talk to you later.
Adios. Have digital microphone will travel.
Wagons! Oh! Hit 'em up! Move 'em out!
You're listening to the Free Range Texan Podcast. It's time now for another segment of the Free Range Talent File. Brought to you by A-Team PR, bringing a host of creative media production and public relations services to our exclusive list of clients. Maybe you could hire the A-Team. And now, here's the next segment of the Free Range Talent File. Free Range Talent File presents an old friend, back with his song Stomp On, and later in the interview, a brand new piece we think you're going to like as well. Here's Matt Westin and Stomp On the Free Range Texan Podcast.
There's hogs at the hitching post side by side. Gravel lot full of four-wheel drives. Bud Light sign says 50-cent wings. Throwing darts in the back is where you find me. Stomp on, stomp on. Stomp on into my stomping grounds. Come on, let me show you around. Stomp on into my stomping grounds. Stomp on, stomp on. Stomp on into my stomping grounds. Come on, let me show you around. Stomp on into my stomping grounds. Let me show you around. Where you find me. Mike behind the bar knows everyone's drink. Becky's showing off a brand new ink. My second cousin Kenny plays bass in the band. They're about to go on. Let's find a place to stand. Stomp on, stomp on. Stomp on into my stomping grounds. Come on, let me show you around. Stomp on into my stomping grounds. Stomp on, stomp on. Stomp on into my stomping grounds. Come on, let me show you around. Stomp on into my stomping grounds. Just a hole in the wall with a neon glow where everybody around here sure likes to go. Throw it down, crank it up, and let the
that's our friend Matt Westin and Stomp On, just one of the several tunes that he's been releasing and that folks are getting excited about around the country and around the world. Hello, Matt Westin.
Hey, brother. How you doing, man?
Oh, it is so good to have you back on the Free Range Texan podcast.
Well, it's good to be here, man. It's really good to be here again. And, I always love talking with you. So thanks for having me.
You have a lot of stuff going on. Thank you to MTS, Michael Stover, for keeping us in touch with you during this time. It's amazing. Where do I start? You've got your first single, Our Redneck of the Woods, out there. It reached the Indie World Country charts and the European Country Music Association charts. Matt was also the top 200 international country artists chart. Follow-up singles, Farmtown and You Leave Me No Choice, also received international airplay and charting. His last two singles, Matt, it seems that Stomp On and Hey Bro are from his forthcoming EP to be released on MTS Records. Both singles reached the top 100 airplay in Today Country chart, while Stomp On reached the iTunes country sales on the top 40. He's going to star as Johnny Cash in an upcoming film production. And what's that gal's name that stars in this deal too?
Donna DeErico. She's from Baywatch.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah, she's hard to miss.
I was going to say, that's nice to see, I'm sure.
Yeah.
When is that coming out?
Well, you know what? It would have been out already, but we were supposed to film it last year, and the pandemic shut everything down, so we didn't get to film it yet. We did finish the soundtrack. I have 2 songs on the soundtrack. So once they lift all the restrictions, we'll be cameras up, and then it should be out within, less than a year after we film it, probably about 9 months.
I am so proud of you.
Thank you.
I remember the last time that we talked to you, you were telling us about being out on the West Coast and so on and so forth. And then you had several family situations occur and you went back to Pittsburgh. Matt, you have been building this career. You have not only distinguished yourself as a recording artist, but also as an actor. Did you always know you had acting skills?
Hey, that's debatable, depending on who. Yeah. But anyways, I always wanted to be an actor since I was a little kid, actually. Yeah. When I was in elementary school, we did a time capsule that we opened after we graduated high school. And it listed all kinds of things that we wanted to be or our favorite things and whatnot. Sure. And when I looked at it, it said, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I said, an actor. And this was in first grade. So I guess it's always been there. I never really pursued it until later on. So, I guess it's kind of coming full circle now. So it's pretty neat.
Whenever you set out to do something, you're really good at it. Has anyone told you that before?
Yeah, my one brother is always mad at me. He's like, "Man, you're better at me than everything." I don't know. I guess it's been a blessing and a curse. Whatever I put my mind to, I'm usually somewhat successful at. But it kind of makes it difficult to choose a path that way. But I guess it's a gift and a curse, and I'm blessed for sure.
Well, okay. Now, for our listeners, didn't catch your early appearance on Free Range Texan and would like to check this out now, our Free Range Texan blog, which is all located at freerangetexan.net. You can go there, and there's an article about Matt and lots of pictures, which, man, you look great in those pictures, man. I am telling you. The gals that work here at 18PR came down the hall when they heard you were going to be back on the show, and they said, "Are you doing a blog article? Are there going to be new pictures?" And I mean, you've got fans everywhere you don't even know, I have a feeling. And we said, yeah, but we had to kind of keep it under wraps. Everybody wanted to come in and see while we were working. Matt Westin's going to be on the show, you know. So
I think you're exaggerating. Come on.
By the time this comes, no, I'm not. I'm really not, man. And by the time this is coming on and rolling out, that blog is up now at freerangetexan.net, and you can go there and you can check out Matt. Also, I am told we have a video that is going to be there as well, and some of your latest stuff, and all of that will be at freerangetexan.net. Matt, I had decided a long time ago that we wanted to have you back on the show, and I was just kind of waiting.
It's going to be a film. It's called 116 McDougal.
Okay. All right. The thing about it was, Matt, when I heard Thin Blue Line, I began to listen to that, and I went, holy smoke. I got goose pimples, man. Not just the way that it's produced and the way you performed in it, but also the actual lyrics and the words are about as timely as I could imagine a song being at this time. And I'm assuming it's just come out, but I would think that radio stations, broadcast stations would jump all over that. And so when I heard that, I said, now's the time. Get back on with Free Range Texan, and let's get Matt to let us play Thin Blue Line.
Well, thank you, first of all. Let's see. Well, I have a lot of friends in law enforcement, different branches of law enforcement as well, even into like the State Department. And one of my closest friends is a retired lieutenant. And you know what? I've known him for about 15 years, one of the best people I've ever met. And I just love and respect him so much. And, through the years, I've heard all of his stories, things that he's experienced as an officer. And, you see the pain in their eyes, you see the heartbreak, and you see the pride. And no matter how tough it was, he would do it all over again. And I just don't know how these people do it. That they go and they see the darkest things that the world has to offer. And then they go home and be a husband or a wife or a mother or father, and they have to turn it off. I don't know how they do it. I know I couldn't. I saw this, and I wanted to give them something to encourage and support them, and just give them an anthem to rally around, and something to just let them know that we're on their side. And I actually wrote this song with an incredible songwriter, Joey Scott. I think she's got Grammy nominations, all kinds of stuff. And wrote this I think it was like August of 2019, before things really got crazy. And the fact that it's released 2 weeks ago, I mean, like you said, it's so timely. I really feel like it was meant to be released now, and I couldn't be more proud of it.
So with your permission, Matt, what we'd like to do here is play that song for our listeners. I would also say that for any young up-and-coming radio programmers out there, the song is available on MTS Records. This is the type of music that people in this country need to be listening to. Matt Westin, you are a good friend.
Likewise.
Thank you for being on Free Range Texan.
It's always my pleasure, man.
And here it is. Here's Matt Westin's latest release, and it's the one we've been talking about, Thin Blue Line, on the Free Range Texan podcast.
T-shirt, put on the braid for the risk of facing danger for the lives that we might save. Kiss all wives and husbands, mornings on the rise, knowing well that goodbye kiss might really mean goodbye. It's a line that's drawn in brotherhood for the ones who protect and serve. A salute to the fallen heroes for the honor they have earned. We're the flashing lights of justice who wear that badge with pride, standing shoulder to shoulder, sharing the sacrifice. Oh, we are the thin blue line. Thin blue line. Well, it's more than just a job to us. It's really who we are. Truth is our commitment. It runs deeper than the scars. Every day's a challenge, and every day we find another reason why we'd lay our lives on the thin blue line. It's a line that's drawn in brotherhood for the ones who protect and serve. A salute to the fallen heroes for the honor they have earned. We're the flashing lights of justice who wear that badge with pride, standing shoulder to shoulder, sharing the sacrifice. Oh, we are the thin blue line. The thin blue line. Yeah! Expect the unexpected and pray to be blessed, running right toward the chaos on a street stained in red, keeping our neighbors safe. We're finding that missing kid, but all across America the reward is worth the risk. It's a line that's drawn in brotherhood for the ones who protect and serve. A salute to the fallen heroes for the honor they have earned. With the flashing lights of justice who wear that badge with pride, standing shoulder to shoulder, sharing the sacrifice. Oh, we are the thin blue
been listening to the Free Range Talent File. If you'd like more information about our guest, just go to our website at freerangetexan.net. Also, submissions to be interviewed on the Free Range Talent File should be sent to our website at freerangetexan.net. Hi, y'all. It's me, Just a quick reminder that the Midnight Express is back, providing great country music to broadcast stations and streaming to everybody else across our country and around the world on Boss Country Radio, a worldwide country music network. So you can join me weeknights at 10 p.m. Central here in the United States. Find out all the ways that you can listen at bosscountryradio.com.
Boss Country.
Hi, this is Michael Shawn, and welcome to our Campfire. You know, it just occurred to me that I recall not one, but two little Texas road stories that are both somewhat of a scream. The first one starts one dark night as a carload of excited teenagers were returning from a high school football game, driving down an old country road just outside of Arlington, Texas, near Legacy Park. The kids were excited and distracted as they approached the narrow bridge that spanned the Trinity River. They never saw the car coming from the other direction until it was too late. There was a grinding, head-on collision. Both vehicles violently exploded, sending both cars plummeting off the bridge and into the waters below. There were no survivors. It's curious, though. Ever since that night, that bridge has been referred to as the Screaming Bridge, named after the terrified cries of the doomed teenagers. The road to it has long since been closed off, and the only way to reach it now is on foot through the park. The locals say that if you can find Screaming Bridge and look down into the water from it, you'll see an eerie glow. They also say that if you dare to sit in the middle of Screaming Bridge on the anniversary of the night of the deadly crash, a thick fog will rise up from the river, and phantom headlights of the speeding cars will appear at each end of the bridge as the tragic events of that fateful night replay themselves year after year, again and again, all the way to their violent conclusion. Like some other haunted spots, this one is elusive. Locals seem to know about the legend, but few know exactly how to get there. It's almost as if Screaming Bridge doesn't want to be found. However, a park ranger did confirm its existence and also that the road that led to it had long since been closed off. And there is another story that we're told locals swear is true. If you travel a little further south down to Houston, in that area, there's a legendary road named Patterson Road, running peacefully through a lush and tranquil swatch of marshy forest land. Locals there will tell you that the tranquility hides a darker past. This area is said to have been the site of a violent and bloody battle near the end of the Civil War. While the whole road has an underlying air of the unknown, there is a particular concentration of spectral occurrences around the old bridge as it passes over Langham Creek. Drivers crossing the span have reported hearing a number of tappings on the outside of their cars, especially along the doors. It's as if unseen hands are knocking and even swaying the automobiles. Locals say This is the work of the turbulent spirits of the soldiers who violently lost their grip on mortality long ago. Are they warning drivers off, or are they trying to escape the place of their bloody deaths? In other words, are they trying to climb in and go home with you? No one claims to know for sure. But if you find yourself stopped on this haunted bridge, take heed. The spirits there are restless, to say the least. I'm Michael Shawn. Thanks for joining us at our campfire. Adios, my friends. Thank you, Matt Westin, for spending time and sharing talent with us on this episode of the Free Range Texan. And we want to remind everyone that a small article about Matt and pictures and a video are all appearing on the Free Range Texan blog. That can be easily found at freerangetexan.net. One more thing, from all of the podcast platforms anywhere in the world, including YouTube, wherever or however you listen to us here on the Free Range Texan, please subscribe. In our podcast world, it helps us out a lot. Thank you all for that. Man, where does the time go? Foxy, get in the pickup. Take 'em home, sweetie pie.
Thank y'all for listening to the Free Range Texan podcast, produced at 18PR Studios, out yonder in West Texas, with our host, who's been voted the hardest working man in podcasting, Michael Shawn. Feedback or submissions to our program can be submitted on our website, freerangetexan.net. That's freerangetexan.net. This is Sweetie Pie, on behalf of Michael Shawn and the crew here in Studio A, where we're all looking forward to spending time with you on our next episode of the Free Range Texan podcast. Y'all come back now, you hear?
An 18PR production. End transmission.
That's all. Can we go now, Dad?